The fourth generation Honda Integra, also known as the Acura RSX in North America, was a sporty two-door coupe well known for its strong engines and its ability to be customized. ZoomOn of Hong Kong has created a full resin kit of an upgraded Integra with a Mugen package. Big spoiler, custom wheels, and aggressive front bumper and hood are all part of this unique kit. Along with all the resin pieces, a full photo etch set is included to include things like brake discs, seat belts, grills, and more. Window masks are also included in this set for easier painting of the flexible windows. Two seat options are included, one being a more racing-inspired set of buckets with a full photo etch brace to attach to the floor of the interior. Custom rims with branded Potenza tires are also part of this kit. This is a curbside kit, and so there is no engine included with this kit. But there is some underside details, including the bottom of the engine and an exhaust system. We can begin with the body by deepening the panel lines with a scriber. Then give the entire body a good sanding to make sure to get out any imperfections in the resin due to casting. After that, the body can be cleaned with a little isopropyl alcohol to keep any dust and debris off the body for painting. We'll start off with a white primer from Kaleido. Using white will help to ensure that the entire body is covered in primer as the resin is already gray. Also, the white will give us a bright underlayer for the metallic base layer. Kaleido's metallic blue-gray is used for the base layer. Honestly, I thought this was going to be a little more blue than it turned out. I should have tested it on a spoon first. I would suggest always testing out paint colors on a spoon first to be sure of the color you are wanting to achieve. Some decals can be applied to the base layer for nameplates and logos. After the decals have had some time to dry, several layers of Mr. Super Clear are used to seal it all up and give the body a decent shine. After the clear has had a few days to dry, the window seals can be done. First, using a black panel wash to bring out the scribed lines around the windows will help keep painting the moldings in the lines. Some Tamiya semi-gloss black can be hand painted around all the windows for the simulated rubber. The window masks are put onto the plastic window pieces and painted using an airbrush. The windows can be peeled from the backing and then do need to be trimmed a little bit to fit into the window openings. Super glue is put into the recessed areas of the windows and the windows are carefully put into place. Then super glue can be used to seal up the rest of the windows. This style of window does require a lot of patience and several test fittings before actually gluing them down. You get one chance to get this right, and it is really easy to put them in at the wrong angles. Larger windows, like the windshield and the rear window, are also curved, so there is need for extra patience to be sure they are properly put into place. After the glue is completely dry, you can remove the window mask from the inside. It is a good idea to keep the window mask on during the gluing process to be sure you don't accidentally get glue onto the inside of the windows. Super glue is really easy to get in places you really don't want it to be. This kit comes with metal inserts for the taillights and the headlights. They can be inserted into their locations and superglued into place. Once the headlight pods are ready, they can then be glued into the inside of the body. Lenses are put over the front headlights, and taillights are painted using a clear red and a clear orange and then put into their positions. There are side windows in the kit, but I opted to leave them off this time around. Still, the mirrors do need to be glued in their spot at the front of the windows. For the chassis, we will begin with some black primer for our base coat. Scorched gold can be used on the rims for a unique look. Gunmetal is used on the brakes, and then zirconium black is used for the calipers. Titanium alloy can be used to give a variety of colors on the underside. Aluminum can be hand painted on the transmission and some of the heat shields on the underside of the car. Photo etched disc brakes are glued onto the resin brake rotors. Front and rear suspension components are glued in. The front is steerable, so we will need to be sure not to glue the struts into the chassis. Once all of the suspension is completed, the brakes can be glued in and then the wheels are glued in place. This kit does not have rolling wheels, and so the wheels must be glued into place. There are not a lot of parts to the interior, but we can start off with a black primer and base coat. The instrument cluster area is given some gray to help differentiate this area from the rest of the dashboard. Blue is used on the seats, and then they are given a matte coat to help simulate a cloth look. Some details are added to the dashboard, such as an aluminum for the upper panel, and then the gauges are put in as deco. A turned aluminum steering wheel hub is glued to the steering column, and then the custom steering wheel is glued on top of that. Some black is hand painted on the seatbelt pass-through of each of the seats. A shoulder harness could be used in this kit, but I think we'll stick with the regular seatbelts in this build. Carpet is added using some diluted white glue on the floor of the passenger compartment. Embossing powder is then put on top of the spread out glue. Using a tool to tap the sides of the interior tub will help the embossing powder to settle into the white glue. Any excess powder is then tapped out of the tub. The same process can be done on the parcel shelf behind the rear seats. Once the glue has dried, the front seats can be glued in with some super glue. And then the completed dashboard can also be glued into the interior tub. Now, the three components can be brought together: the chassis, the interior, and the body. Just a few more final touches. The rear spoiler can be attached, windshield wipers glued on, and a license plate is put into place to keep it all legal and roadworthy. Thank you for following along in this build of the Integra DC5 from ZoomOn. There were some challenges for sure, as there are with most resin kits, but with some patience, you can have a very decent looking car for your shelf. Some of the tools I used in this build are in the description below. Links are to each of the tools on Amazon. As an Amazon affiliate, I do earn a small commission if you decide to make a purchase. I do thank you for your support. If you enjoyed watching this build, leave a comment below. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more builds in the Scale Auto Garage. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep building, and we'll see you in the next one.